know you're going to have some bruises if nothing else, I guess, with your hand.
Yeah, very physical. Every time we play Florida State, those guys are just, it's hard to score at the basket. Both teams do a good job of guarding each other. We know each other very well because we play twice every year. They have great length and size and do a really good job defensively as well. So points are always hard to come by. It might come down to somebody with a hot hand or, which team creates a little bit of easy baskets off turnovers.
Tim Mays, the guy is so hard to guard. You think maybe playing him twice, you got a little bit better idea of what to do this time?
Well, you have an idea what to do, but he's just really talented. He's got great size. He's almost 6'4", and he's got speed. That's the thing that is what makes him different than most guys is his ability to get away from you with speed. Obviously, he can shoot over top of you, he can get around you, and he's an improving decision maker. Along the lines of a Jaren Grant.
It's been a tough last couple of games. Do you feel like you have to kind of recreate the mindset now?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't think we've played as poorly as maybe the people on the outside think. I thought we defended really pretty well for much of the NC State game. A little bit in the second half, it got away from us. We obviously struggled offensively in the second half, and you can't beat NC State unless you continue to score. They're just hard to play against that way. I thought offensively, we took advantage of the advantages we had in South Bend against Notre Dame. We got the ball inside. We knew we were bigger than those guys. That's what we wanted to do, and I thought Jerron and Landry both played very well offensively. The hard part with Notre Dame is they're just so talented offensively that they're hard to play against. And when they're moving the ball like they did against us, and when they get interior scoring like they did, to go with the three-point shooting and the guard play, they're hard to beat. So I thought we played reasonably well for stretches of that game. Just offensively, they were too talented for us, and we couldn't figure out a way to slow them down that day.
When you look at these 31 games, has the guard play been more volatile than you would have expected?
Yeah, a little bit. I certainly would have hoped that we would have a little more consistency from a lot of places, really. Even Landry, I don't think, has been as consistent as we'd hoped. Some of it's the foul trouble and just not being able to get into rhythm of the game. And then there are other games where we just play against big players like Florida State. It's hard to score inside, but the guard play is such that that the ball's in those guys' hands enough. Marcus and Rod and all those guys, they have more opportunities to affect the game in a positive way. And I think their inconsistencies what's really hurt us offensively.
That having been said, I guess Rod will play the second half.
He'll start, yeah. Just my decision not to play him in the second half.
What's the fact that it could be the final game of the season?
Well, you don't look at it that way. I think you're this time of year you should be excited. This is a chance to go do something special. You're playing in one of the great tournaments in all of college basketball, and certainly there's a lot of things to look forward to. And the first is Florida State. If you can build some positive momentum with a win there, then you never know what can happen. And, we're excited to be a part of it. We're excited that we don't have to play the first day, and we'll have a big game against a team we know very well. It should be very competitive, very physical, and might be the one that has the ball last wins.
I guess the better way for me to phrase that is to use that as a motivator.
A little bit. Guys know all those things. I think some of that's overrated. I think you just, you try to get your guys excited more than anything. You don't look at the negative, you look at the positive of what you have a chance to do, the opportunity in front of you. And how when you were a little kid, you dreamed of playing in games like this. And obviously if you win, you get to play in more significant games. That's what's fun about this time of year is if you win a game, the next game will be even bigger. If you win that game, the game after that's bigger. And, you have to deal with the pressure that comes with that, but as a competitor, that's what you want to do.
What were some of the issues you had defensively against Notre Dame and those last 2 minutes against NC State that you've seen?
Well, I think some of it's just Notre Dame's personnel. Notre Dame is different in that they basically can play different ways, and they have 4 3-point shooters on the court. They just stretch you so much, and when you have a point guard like Jaren Grant, it's hard to guard him one-on-one, and they put him in ball screens, and if they're playing well and moving it well, it's hard. When they get the interior scoring to go with it, they're going to score 75 or 80 on you. And unfortunately, we allowed them to kind of have a little bit of both. We did a better job at our place of guarding them. I think some of it was a big day for them. They were very excited and in a great rhythm. NC State game, in all honesty, looking back at the film, We defended pretty well for 30 minutes. Some of those guys, I mean, Turner made some shots over top of us. That's what great players do. I was a little disappointed in just our tenacity a little bit in that game. I thought we quickly got frustrated, and and that's what led to our kind of inability to score. And the longer that went, the more frustrated we got, and then it carried over to both sides of the ball, which we at this point in the season, you have to be better than that. And with some of the older guards that we have, they have to be better than that. We just weren't that day.
Rod's a competitor, and I'm sure he didn't like sitting in the second half. Are you confident his mindset will be okay?
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's ready to go.
Do you think Saturday tournament, whatever postseason comes after that, I don't know if it's too early to ask, but can you put your finger on what the difference is between where you are and the top 4, top 5 in the standings?
Well, I mean, we don't have a great player, and I think you guys sometimes forget. Like, we had a great player last year, and he was first team All ACC. And when you have a guy like that, when things aren't going well, not only do you have a guy to throw the ball to, but you have a guy that gives everybody else on the court confidence. And so in the middle of that stretch against NC State, when you're starting to doubt yourself just a little, you look to your left and there's a guy who's a great player. He just makes you feel better. And look at the top teams in our league. They all have great players. And you don't get to be a top team in this league without having at least one guy on the court that changes the game for others. It's not just the numbers that they have, it's how much easier they make the game for everybody else. We don't have anybody on our team right now that is at that level to where they make the game easier for the other guys on the team. And that's why you struggle to score as much as we struggle to score.
In that vein, have you told Jerron don't go anywhere? Or be your first leading returning scorer?
Yeah, we just want him to be healthy and get us to next year. But it's part of it. It's unfortunate. Obviously, KJ left, but that's the hand we're dealt, and we're trying to do the best we can with it. Some days we've done very well with it, and some days we look like we don't have it. And you hope the development of guys like Dante Grantham and Jerron Blossom game through the course of this year get to the point where they're in another year or two, those guys are approaching that level. And that's really all you can do. I mean, we're not able right now to recruit a top 50 guy. We have to develop the guys we get, and every once in a while there's going to be some growing pains with that. I think that's just normal. Probably when you look at the history of Clemson basketball, the times when we have those 2 and 3 year periods where we're really good is when they have a player that is, one of the top players in the league. And then when that guy leaves and it's not replaced with another one right away, it usually takes a few years, there's a little bit of a dip. And that's just the difference in some of the programs in our league right now. And obviously we're working hard to shore that up as best we can.
Brad, how much has that affected Joker and KJ?
I think it has.